Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sing. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, this Asian woman actually came out to talk on what has been going on between Black people and Palestinians. And first of all, she started by saying that she is not Palestinian or a Black person, but she had something to say. And while she was talking, she also made mention of how what Palestinians are doing was the same thing that Asians did during their own movement when they left what they were supposed to tackle and then started being anti-black. You all can actually see what has been going on well within some days and all that, and it's really been serious, right? And also a Black woman staged the video and was like, if you all did not know that our African American history is everybody's history, and which is true. Now, some people forgot to understand that during like black people or Black Power movement benefited everybody. It did not just benefit only one person. Everybody benefited from it. Now they keep calling Black people Black people. I do not see them calling Hispanic people. I do not see them calling Asians. I do not see them calling other people. How come it's only Black people that they have been on? This really shows you how these people do not respect and regard Black people. With everything Black people have done for them, they still come out to denigrate them. Now, I am asking, what are you people doing for yourselves? Leave Black people out of your mouth. Let's get into this.
I don't want to speak directly on the situation happening right now on this app too much because I am not Black and I am not Palestinian. So I'm just going to keep quiet on the specifics and repost other folks that know more than me and are directly affected. But what I will say is this reminds me of the way the Stop Asian Hate movement totally lost steam and credibility because there was anti-blackness from the start. I'm Asian American, and I was obviously against the huge wave of anti-Asian hate crimes that happened in 2021 as a response to racist anti-Asian COVID conspiracies. I had family members and friends who were harassed and assaulted. I was scared to go out, and the Atlanta spa shootings broke me in a way that fundamentally changed me. I felt so much grief and pain with my community, and of course I agreed with the spirit of Stop Asian Hate. And I also noticed a lot of anti-blackness within that movement from the very start. The strain of anti-blackness that pissed me off the most was coming from Asian Americans who were being politically activated by this moment for the first time. They would say things like, why doesn't anyone care about us like they care about Black people? Or why don't Black people care about our suffering? First of all, this is not Black people's fault, so why the fuck are they even being mentioned right now? And to say that Black people don't care about the suffering of non-Black POC is just so historically untrue. Black American activists are literally in solidarity with every other POC liberation movement. We're the ones not in solidarity with them. We're the ones that cannot even recognize the Black people within our own community. We're the ones who can't even register the pain of others until we feel the blunt force of oppression on our own necks. It's really cruel and fucked up and anti-Black to blame Black Americans for not recognizing our struggles and our pain when we offer nothing in return. It's not up to Black people to uplift other communities. And yet they always are the first people outside of affected communities to show solidarity when shit happens. And they show real solidarity with us. They come through and show full support. They center the voices of the most affected. And they don't say shit about how anti-Black our communities have been right up until and through whatever collective tragedy we're experiencing. Black activists don't say anything to jeopardize the momentum of a liberation movement because they know what real solidarity means. But what I saw happen with the Stop Asian Hate movement and what I've seen happen with other non-Black POC movements is the moment that movement really starts to make some headway against the true oppressors, the anti-Blackness comes out again. Black activists are the first allies that come to other people of color's aid, and they're the first ones to be tossed aside. And it's just really fucked up. Like, why doesn't anyone care about us like they care about Black people?
A lot of people are jealous of the political power that Black Americans have built in this country. You should go back and watch that video from the last creator. I thought it was thoughtful and brilliant. And I think it really hammers home the point that a lot of people have noticed that when Black Americans open their mouths in this country, people listen. And yes, that is political power. And obviously, we have a very long way to go in this country, but people forget that that political power was built over the more than 400 years that we've been in this nation. There isn't a liberation movement in this country that Black Americans have not been a part of. You can start at the Revolution. The American Revolution, the first person to die was a Black man. The Texas Revolution, the first casualty in the Texas Revolution was a Black man. And you can go throughout history looking at all of the civil rights movements, any little piece of progress that this country has fought for, Black Americans have been at the vanguard. This is not at all to say that Black Americans are better than anyone else. But what it does mean is that we have faced down the oppression that we face in this country and approached it strategically. And again, there's so much more progress to be made. But I think what we have learned as Americans who have been a part of this experiment from the very beginning is that progress takes time. There are no shortcuts. And the rights that we have today, that all of us have today, not just Black Americans, started with our fight to hold this nation to its promises. And yes, part of how you do that is by voting. Some of the first thing that Black Americans did when they were emancipated from slavery was register to vote. And it's the reason why we have public schools today. From the votes that our ancestors took during Reconstruction, during that brief period before Jim Crow. So I would advise people who are hurting right now and seeing the momentum in the presidential campaign and praying that they don't get left behind, instead of chastising Black Americans, maybe read our rule book a little bit. And I'm being so serious. I'm not trying to be shady. But I think what you'll find if you do that is that it takes a very, very, very long time, I guess I should say, to get to the progress that you want to see. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth.
Thank you for making that video and being honest, because to be quite honest with you, this repeating of history is getting quite annoying. And the hashtag Stop Asian Hate wasn't the first distraction from the Black Lives Matter movement. Remember, that was the same time that all the anti-Semitic laws started coming about, because the Jews were also being attacked. You know, the Jews are receiving hate now too, so the American government said, you know what, we can't sign a Stop Black Hate Crime bill, but we, or give reparations to them, but you know what we can do? We can write an Asian hate crime bill. We can write all these anti-Semitic laws. We can, revoke affirmative action. Because remember, during that same time when Camilla wasn't Black, she was focusing on her Asian American heritage, and everything that was happening to those oppressed groups was way more important than what was happening to us. That wasn't the only distraction. The trans identity movement was another, because we had to focus on the motherfuckers that developed gender dysmorphia and started identifying with the social constructs of what their society deemed a man and a woman should be, rather than focus on the system that is actually causing that symptom, which is patriarchy. And then after protesting, because most Americans were bored stuck inside the house, protesting for the police to be defunded, y'all went and voted for a man that went and funded the with all that COVID-19 money. Which, by the way, Bill Gates, how you doing? Because Americans have been bred and raised to think of nothing outside of voting within their political systems. They can't even think of revolution. They can't even think of researching the Venus Project, sharing that information, knowing that Black culture, American culture is global culture, and we can influence the world by just simply sharing the information. No, that's too hard. You have to do what you've been told to do, what you've been raised to do. So go out and vote for the continuation of our oppression. And our oppression includes everyone else's oppression, the oppression within Africa, and the oppression that is facing Africa's people is what keeps the global economy going. But again, you shall go and vote for your comfortability this November.
I don't want to speak directly on the situation happening right now on this app too much, because just like with any other palm supremacy tactic, they don't really value. Do you see what I'm saying? They don't really value anything from people of, not even people of color, but Black people specifically. They don't value anything from Black people specifically. So that's really where a lot of this comes from. It's like, oh, well,
I like all the support that I'm getting from everyone else, but I really don't care for the support I'm getting from black people. And so if black people want to critique or help my movement, then I'm doing everything, or I'm willing to throw them under the bus. You know what I'm saying? So that's just really what ends up happening, is that we end up getting thrown under the bus in every movement, because our critiques, our opinions, our help in general is not the help that any other person of color wanted, because they see it as a devaluation of their movement. Like, their movement now has inherently less value because black people stood beside them. Do you see what I'm saying? Which is incredibly wild and incredibly anti-black. It's rampant. You know what I'm saying? It is rampant, and in every community. And the wild part is that no one will make any headway in any type of dismantling of colonial structure until they see that it's them too. You know what I'm saying? They jump on the bandwagon when there's harm, right? You know, jump on the people of color bandwagon when there's harm, but when there's nothing going on, they will happily sit right next to colonialism any day. You know what I'm saying?
It's very evident that a lot of folks don't know their own history. And when I say their own history, I'm including everyone, because Black American history is everyone's history that calls themselves American. Every bit of radical thought that was causation for things like the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, religious freedoms and tolerances, all stem from work from radical Black leaders who also were against militarism and imperialism worldwide. These are people who openly spoke out against things that were happening in Palestine, in Vietnam, have consistently talked about decolonizing the continent of Africa, and have always upheld that it was all of us against them being colonial and imperialist systems and the people who uphold them. When you all make the talking points of, well, we gotta save us first, we gotta put on our own oxygen mask first, y'all don't mean the trans us, y'all don't mean the disabled us, y'all don't mean the unhoused us, y'all don't mean the living under severe mental health conditions us, y'all mean the keep the status quo us, y'all mean the as long as this them but not me us. And this is why a lot of folks call y'all blue MAGAs. And for those of us who truly understand the oxygen mask theory, equity is at its core. Because if the plane is going down, you can only use an oxygen mask if, one, you have one. Two, if the oxygen mask is actually functioning properly. And three, if you actually know how to use the oxygen mask. People aren't mad simply because you want to vote for Kamala. People are simply asking you to hold the line and make demands of your public official, and that they make some sort of platform of policies that acknowledge that they know that the plane may be going down, but at the very least, your oxygen mask is there and that it is functional. And instead of following in the path of our foremothers and forefathers who were in community with each other, instead you are fighting next to the very people who have prepared for the oxygen mask not to be functional. You want to disrespect each other, fine. But don't you dare ever disrespect the radical work and the blueprint that is the Black Panther Party, the Civil Rights Movement, the many undocumented and documented slave revolts, because that is cowardice and lazy.
So this is all I got from this video, and sincerely speaking, you heard all they said, and no lies in what the first woman that started. I like all of them, you know. The woman that started the conversation said that Black history is everybody's history, and the Black power benefited almost everybody. This is something that they have refused to acknowledge, and the fact that they are still looking for a way to send Black people back to where they started from is something that I really find very crazy and mean at the same time. Because if you are not selfish, I mean, like, since how many days there is nothing that I have not heard about Black people. Black people are selfish, Black people are mean, Black people this, black people that, and all, the rest of it. How are they mean? Because they choose themselves over every other person. And the fact that people, I feel like people that would want people to choose them over themselves do not love themselves enough. Because if you love yourself a lot enough, you definitely will want to choose yourself first before anybody would choose you. I wouldn't want anybody to choose. I would want to choose yourself, then I choose myself, right? And the fact that they are leaving their government and also the other people doing almost everything happening there. I mean, the other party that they are having all this crisis with, they left them. They are not attacking them. They are not telling them that what they are doing is bad. But the people that came all out for them are the ones that are doing something bad, which is also okay. I love the fact that this Asian lady also came out to talk about this. Like she said that she is not she's not Palestinian, and neither is she a black person. But she has something to say. That this is exactly what the Asians did. This is when you say the anti-blackness in some people. Because if it is not anti-blackness, there is nothing that will make somebody, come out to start all this drama. The truth is that black people, nobody actually came out to say this or that. It was them that started all the drama. And now some people are calling for unity. There is also a video I ran across one video today where a Palestinian man said that people can change. So it means black people changed on them. And how did black people change on them? Because they said it's time for us to go back home and settle our own problems before coming out for any other person. That is the problem they committed. The only offense they committed. So he was like, it's only Allah that got their back. And that is so selfish, because if you are not I don't want to use some certain words. That's why I'm sticking with this selfish, right? If you are not a selfish person, there is no how you would have involved Allah in this conversation, because even Allah knew that whatever that has happened is actually the way it should be. All right? Because, like they say, charity begins at home. I can't see my house burning. I can't see things going wrong in my house, and I am there fixing out somebody's house. Like, who does that? If I see anybody doing that, I definitely will kick your butts, because you are not setting a good example. So I am really very happy for black people taking this move, because it's not easy for people to come out boldly and say, man, we've fixed you people enough. And the fact that I still see, man, it's really crazy. The fact that I still saw some black people posting some Palestinian videos today even shows how some people are still super great and amazing. But then I have noticed something. Since the movement started, black people absolutely yanked off W0man flag in their comment section, which I am also in support of, because you cannot be killing me and at the same time trying to calm me down. It's either you choose one. It's either you're about to kill me or you are there for me. So you cannot be wanting to be whatever Jackie Chan behind me or something. I don't know whichever one you choose to be. But please, you all really can do better. Leave black people out of whatever that it's going on in your community. I think it's also time you all start standing up for yourselves, because I did not see most of you calling, what's this man's name? DJ Khaled. Is DJ Khaled not a Palestinian, right? I think he is, or he has a connection. I am not seeing them call most of the artists or the people that have connection with this. Well, how come black people became the only people? I do not see you people call Hispanics. I do not see you people call Asians. But how come it's black people? The people you think you can, you all can step on. I am sorry, you all came at the wrong time. And the earlier for you people, the better for you, because you all already know that you have lost all your chances looking for somebody to come in connection for you or to speak for you or to do that for you. You all already lost that chance. So I am not sure it's ever going to happen. Be blessed, and I hope you have the great day you deserve. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.